Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Laithwaite Community Stadium for Bank Holiday Football. It is a Surrey derby live here on BBC Radio Surrey this afternoon as Woking host their local neighbours, Dorking Wanderers. There is not too much of a rivalry sense amid these two clubs, given it's just the third ever meeting between them. The Cards arrive here with the toughest turnaround in the division here this afternoon after the 600-mile round trip just 48 hours ago up at Gateshead. Darren Stiles' team were rewarded with a phenomenal 3-1 comeback win against the Tynesiders with goals from Jim Kellerman, Padraig Hammond and debutant Zach Bradshaw. 2 days later they host the so-called entertainers of the division, Dorking Wanderers, managed by Mark White, who have been a part of all sorts so far this season and were held 2-2 by York City just 13 miles from here. Darren Stiles will be hopeful of building some much needed momentum in a division that is already throwing up plenty of surprises. The likes of early pace setters Chesterfield and Barnet were both beaten on Saturday, and with Southend's off the pitch issues, this league is certainly anyone's taking. It is Woking against Dorking Wanderers. It is Bank Holiday Football. The prize of 3 precious points, even at this stage of the campaign, is all up for grabs. Both teams in action on Saturday would have expected changes, but just the 2 for both managers. Darren Stiles brings in Luke Wilkinson and Ricky Corboa for their respective first starts of the campaign, despite the fact Ricky Corboa played most of the game on Saturday. Dropping out of the team, Reece Brown injured, Scott Cuthbert rested. Woking team in full. In goal, Will Yaskalainen, the back 4 of Dan Moss, Luke Wilkinson, Greg Taylor and captain Josh Casey. The 3 in midfield, Tunji Akinolo will deputise with several absentees in the middle of the park to stand alongside Zach Bradshaw, his full home debut here today, and Jim Kellerman. The front 3 of Ricky Corboa to one flank, Matt Robinson to the other, Padraig Hammond through the centre. Joe Day continues amongst the substitutes with Robbie Wilmot, Denon Lewis, Nana Boateng and Sam Habagum. The Dorking Wanderers, 2 changes as well after their 2-2 draw with York City 48 hours ago. They recall Bobby Joe Taylor to the defensive line and Harry Ottaway to lead the attack. Dorking Wanderers team in full, Harrison Mayle in goal. A back 3, which consists of captain Barry Fuller, Tony Craig and Bobby Joe Taylor. The 3 in midfield of Dan Gallagher, Josh Taylor and Luke Moore. On either flank, Noel McManus to the right and Seb Bowerman to the left. James McShane, top goal scorer from last season, supporting Harry Ottaway. On the bench for Dorking Wanderers, Dan Pybus, Ryan Seeger, Aaron Kuhl, Callum Kennedy and Alex Lancashire. No place for Jason Pryor, the Dorking Wanderers top goal scorer, nor George Frankham. The game is underway here on BBC Radio Surrey. It's Woking against Dorking Wanderers. Woking in their new home shirts of red and white, halves, black shorts and white socks. Kellerman's already been set through on goal by Corboa. Kellerman with the first chance, cracking block there by Fuller. And Woking have started this game sharply. So they're in their home traditional kit. Dorking Wanderers all in orange, shirt, shorts and socks. Corboa fumbled by the goalkeeper but not hunted down by Padraig Hammond. Delighted to say for the first time this season it's myself on commentary duties alongside Ian Nicholson, who's only just returned from Gateshead. Ian, how are you?
Yeah, very good. A little bit tired, but we left at 7 a.m. this morning, having stayed up with family at the weekend. But it's that's what bank holiday weekends are about, isn't it? In terms of football, the games come thick and fast, and I'm sure the players are feeling it even more. Particularly Zach Bradshaw, who by the end of the game on Saturday looks as, even when he took his goal, looked like he could barely run. So, but he's back in the starting lineup. So, welcome to adult National League football, Zach.
Zach Bradshaw onto Kellerman, met by Moss and cleared away by Craig. Wilkinson lets it run. Thought there was a foul there from Ottaway, picked up by Gallagher but stolen off him by Robinson halfway through the Dorking Wanderers half. Robinson seeking options to his right but wants to go himself. Robinson still goes low cross just behind both Hammond and Corboa. Here is Bradshaw with his first touch, got caught on the edge of the penalty area. I think the referee allowed the advantage, realised there wasn't any, and Woking have a free kick in a very good position here as they attack the Leslie Gosden stand.
Very impressive start from Woking. They've already had 3 or 4 positive attacks. Corboa looking live. Well, all the players looking lively at the moment, and Woking often start quickly, and it's really capitalising on that to set up the game.
You say they start quickly, they also tend to concede sometimes quickly. 5 of the last 8 home games they have conceded first, and 4 of those inside the first 20 minutes. But not to disgrace your point, Ian.
Possibly my point was overstretched.
No, well, I know exactly what you mean. We saw against Rochdale how quickly they started the second half, and we are used to seeing Woking do that in the first half. Good chance here, just on the edge of the penalty area. Padraig Hammond hits the centre of the wall, falls to Akinola. Claims of handball muted. Dan Moss flying it towards the back post. Corboa sandwiched between 2 orange shirts as it's headed clear by Taylor, brought down by Moss. It's the home team that have started very brightly indeed, and what is a fabulous afternoon here for football on Bank Holiday Monday. And just a word on the pitch as well, Ian, it looks absolutely fantastic.
It's superb. It's and it did well last year. Groundsman Dave he's really well. He's very worked so hard on it, and it looks great.
Kellerman on the turn, kept in by Akinola, cleared away by a Dorking Wanderers defender, headed infield by Moss. Corboa again on the edge of the penalty area, finds Hammond, who's offside. Did beat the keeper to it. But a decent line from Dorking, who are operating with 3 at the back. Bobby Joe Taylor, Tony Craig, and also the captain Barry Fuller.
I mean, obviously Pryor is a big loss for it, isn't he? I think he's picked up a knock from chatting to some people earlier, and big loss for Dorking, who've
4 goals so far.
Yeah, well, he is such a good goal scorer.
They still do have multiple threats in their attack. Seb Bowerman, who had a terrific game here last year, and also James McShane, who scored 17 goals for them last term. And again, lots of players went under the radar with the likes of Paul Mullen and Macaulay Langstaff last term. Of course, Reece Brown for Woking not involved today, picking up an injury up at Gateshead, but James McShane is playing, and it is an indifferent formation from Dorking that manager Mark White is deploying. Very high fullbacks. Oh, and that's a loose ball from Bowman. Can Hammond get there? No. Mayle gets out. Harrison Mayle, the young Dorking Wanderers goalkeeper. Good header from Bradshaw. And we'll slide back to Waldy Escalanen, who's keeping his place between the sticks for the moment, Ian.
Yeah, he did well on Saturday, and also I have to say Zach Bradshaw, I mentioned him looking tired, but he also had a very impressive debut. He looked really calm and collected on the ball.
Wonderful pass from Corboa, sets Hammond away. Robinson on the overlap, and here he is. Robinson cut it back for Corboa, but it was nowhere near him really. You could hear the groans from the crowd behind the goal. We played 5 minutes so far, and it's Woking that have looked very, very sharp indeed, despite that long trip back from the north of England. Dorking, meanwhile, as I say, only playing 13 miles away from here, and fought out a 2-2 draw with York City, their first solo point of the season. They beat Southend at home as well, but more of the same, I think, from Dorking. They like to score plenty of goals, but they certainly concede them as well.
Yeah, I don't know that I bet my house, but I can't imagine this game being goalless. It's Dorking are.
Well, I'll remind you of that later on.
And they're a good footballing side. They really play good passing football. They have their philosophy, and they stick to it. They've
got a real unique style, which we saw on plenty of occasions last year, and I'm personally glad they weren't troublesome by relegation last year. A very respectable first season in the National League, 16th, 57 points. I mean, it's a very good return. Not clear of relegation in the end.
And conceded a lot, but also, as all Dorking fans will know, conceding 91 last year. So it's everyone knows what you will get with Dorking. And I remember talking to a former Dorking player and who'd come up through the leagues with them and saying, Mark White will not, his philosophy is to win, to do well, you just have to score more than the opposition, and we just need to score more. But he said in National League South he did adapt a little, and he then said, I think in the National League he'll have to adapt again. Ours is not to say, we're not the manager or the coaches, but I think there's certainly, it's interesting just watching the whole dynamic of attacking teams against very solid teams.
Yeah, I won't be surprised to hear that Dorking were involved in more goals with games than any other last season. Finding a bit of space is Taylor. Low cross and put over the crossbar by Ottaway. It's a fabulous ball in by Tony Craig, who had got forward. And Ottaway yet to find the back of the net this season. Probably had the game's best chance so far.
Yeah, I'm reinforcing that point really, that when Dorking can get the ball and come forward, they're dangerous. It's a bit similar actually with the Woking game against Gateshead, who are also a very attacking, passing team. If they can get possession and get their stuff together, they really look good and they really make chances. The key is to stop teams like that getting decent possession.
158 goals in 46 games for Dorking last year. Even in pre-season, all 6 of their games had a minimum of 2 goals, including a 5-4 with Leatherhead.
Well, yeah, there you go. And I mean, already conceded 12 this year. Fylde, I think, have conceded 13. But other than that, it's most teams are a lot less than that.
Well, they began the season in usual style. Now Ammond here has capitalised on the mistake. Ammond, well served by Mail, falls to Kellerman on the edge of the box. Orange shirt scrambling to get back. Corboa with another chance. Low shot, blocked again and cleared away. A real demonstration of the troubles that Mark White experiences in his back line. Woking coming forward again, and they look the most likely side at the minute to break the deadlock, bar that good chance for Dorking just a few moments ago.
Yeah, I mean, that was such a good opportunity there for Ammond. I mean, it was bad back pass, almost equivalent to the game against Aldershot last year, and he just had the goalkeeper to beat and couldn't quite get it through. I think he's probably more surprised than anything.
Yeah, definitely. I was just on the verge of saying they began the season in usual style, losing 4-3 up at Chesterfield, a game they did lead by 2-1. I think they led twice here 12 months ago in that remarkable 3-3 draw between the sides. Of course, Woking coming through victors on Good Friday thanks to the goal of the season from Rowan Ince. Ammond, surely this time well saved and smothered again by Harrison Mail. There's 2 chances for Patrick Ammond in 2 minutes.
Yeah, I mean,
he can't convert from close range. Forward comes Bobby Joe Taylor up against Dan Moss. Ammond's got back to support. Low ball is the wrong side of the post, but it's already end-to-end stuff, Ian.
It is, and I mean, Woking could well be 2 or 3 up by now, and
should be.
They should be. Yeah, no, it's certainly 2, and great opportunities that have been missed, and they just need to keep on that front foot. But then you saw Bobby Joe Taylor coming the other way, and he again is an impressive player, very energetic, very fast. Certainly an attacking threat. It's not for me to say whether he's the best defender or not, but he certainly is an attacking wing back. He's excellent.
Just his second start of this new season. Had a spell with Aldershot 6 years ago. Speaking of Aldershot, first team coach for Dorking now is Ross McNeely, of course, who was in charge of the shots last term. Woking prevailing by 4-1 here on New Year's Day. Needs no reminder. And of course, Woking victors at the EBB on Boxing Day. We look forward to that doubleheader over the festivities during the turn of the year. But another Surrey derby here today. It's Woking who have started sharply.
Yeah, Woking definitely on the front foot. I mean, Dorking have had the one good chance with Ottaway, but other than that, it's been Woking really getting in the faces of the Dorking defenders and trying to make these early minutes count.
Missed by Moore, but cleaned up in the end by Craig. Up goes Wilkinson for the header. First start for Luke Wilkinson this term, after his Woking career already been blighted by injuries. Rarely gets a good run in the team. Kellerman, who always is in the team, to Akinola. Bradshaw, nice turn. Plays it back onto his more predominant left foot. Goes from range. Just dragged the shot wide. Wasn't a lot in it. Had Harrison Mail scrambling to his left, but early signs of Bradshaw seeking his second Woking goal.
Yeah, very cool from a player who was 19 years old and signed as a central defender and playing central midfield. So he's obviously got a bit about him.
Corboa just slipped in the penalty area. Robinson now taking it beyond Craig. Robinson just beaten to it by Gallagher. Gets the corner. But Zach Bradshaw added on loan from Ipswich. I can think of as many as 5 Woking players out injured at the minute. Reece Grego-Cox, Reece Brown should hopefully be back in the next couple of weeks. Jermaine Anderson was running intensively before kick-off. Still no Rowan Ince or Manny Oyeleke. Josh Casey with the corner. Corboa's come short, but Manus will chase, so Casey hoists it towards the back post. Up goes Wilkinson, who got the touch. There was a foul in there from the Woking man, and it will be a free kick. 0-0. Woking and Dorking have endured a very intense 12 minutes so far. High tempo from both teams. It's Woking who have looked the better side so far. Dorking playing from right to left as we look, left to right if you're watching on the stream. And they're attacking the Kingfield Road end. Good chance for Harry Ottaway so far, but it's been one-way traffic otherwise. Harrison Mail, who's already made 2 very good saves. Good chasing from Corboa.
Yeah, and obviously the tactic here is, Dorking like to play it out from the back. As did Gateshead on Saturday, and Woking are just not allowing them to settle. With Corboa and Hammond getting right in the faces of the goalkeeper and the defenders.
Gallagher onto Bobby Joe Taylor. Luke Moore is screaming for it, but Bauman gets it instead. Between 2 red and white shirts. Bauman back to Bobby Joe Taylor, just caught by Kellerman. Will be a free kick. Kellerman needs to probably stand out the way to avoid any yellow cards. Speaking of yellow cards, Richie Watkins is the man in the middle today. 2 games so far this season. He's seen 10 goals and handed out 15 cards. So
7 or 8 a game.
Exactly. 14 yellows and 1 red. So
please.
I think both teams would have been given warnings.
Slow down, Mr. Watkins. It's a long season.
Well, I did see actually when I got here, Darren Sarle and Mark White both speaking to the referee, so perhaps he was explaining or reinforcing the rules that they heard at the start of the term. Of course, lots of new rules in the game. Hammond feeding it through to Corboa between 2 orange shirts. Bobby Joe Taylor did well actually and was just caught by Corboa. Just left in a nudge, I think, on the Dorking Wanderers central defender.
I don't think that will worry Darren Sarle one little bit, that free kick. I think Corboa,
sure.
You could just as easily argue it was physical and using his shoulder. And I think he's making that point to the referee. But I think there has been, not criticism of Ricky Corboa because he hasn't had but I think a Darren Sarle team wants players who will be physical, in your face, and really making their presence count. I know Darren Sarle talks to Jermaine Anderson about that as well, making his physique count, and that's what he wants of his players.
Dorking taking a little while to take this free kick, just taking the sting out of the game perhaps, as we played a quarter of an hour here and still goalless. Yeah, welcome back, Cameron, to the Laithwaite Community Stadium. It's Woking 0, Dorking Wanderers 0, but a fast start, particularly for both teams, but especially, I say, from Woking. Patrick Hammond has had 2 glorious chances to put Woking into the lead already, but both well saved by Harrison Mail in the Dorking Wanderers goal. They're going forward again here. Kellerman nodding it on to Hammond, cut out in the end by Barry Fuller. But at the other direction, Harry Ottaway with Dorking's only chance, but not dissimilar to the 2 that Hammond's had at the other end. Harry Ottaway just converting over the crossbar from a well-timed cross from Tony Craig, who got forward from central defence. But it's a fascinating encounter and lots of goalmouth action so far. Neither team yet to break the deadlock. It's fiery stuff here. It's Woking 0, Dorking Wanderers 0. Kellerman avoiding the throw. Ottaway came short, wins the throw-in.
Good for Woking fans to see Luke Wilkinson back on a pitch. He's obviously had troubling calf injuries really from the end of last season, and hopefully taking a lot of time to get over it and get it properly prepared, and he's such a good defender.
Craig clears. Towering presence of Greg Taylor up for this one, and Bradshaw takes no chances. Should go all the way through to the goalkeeper Harrison Mail, who will turn 23 in a couple of weeks' time. Well, simply out to Barry Fuller, probably at the other end of his career. In fact, 2 of the 3 Dorking Wanderers central defenders are 38 years of age, so you'd expect Ricky Corboa fancies himself if it comes to a bit of a pace battle. Dorking throw. It looks as though Dorking Wanderers have just killed a bit of the steam off Woking for the time being.
Yeah, it's evened out a little bit without any threat really from either side in the last 5 or so minutes.
Just the third ever meeting between these two clubs. I mentioned the 3-3 here last term, but the 2-1 in the reverse fixture was prior with the penalty before 2 goals from Rowan Ince. And 14 yellows between the 2 games, so it can be a fiery encounter, particularly with any Mark White side. Wilkinson's header, missed by Ammond and by Robinson. And Niall McManus, the Irishman, can bring this forward for the visitors. McManus, infield to Gallagher, but stolen off him by Kellerman. Ammon sort of left it for Corboa, and Dorking have it back.
Kellerman's been immense this first 15 minutes. He's just been everywhere and breaking up and being constructive.
Loose from McShane. And a poor clearance from Wilkinson. Good noise from the Kingfield Road end, matching the support of Dorking, who are probably brought, what do you say, just shy of 300?
Yeah, it's a good smattering in the stand, and the stand has a lot of people in it as well. It's obviously a short trip.
Casey, first time clearance. Ammond knew he was offside, and cushion header back from Craig.
Third appearance between the two teams, and so whether it classifies as a local derby, but I must say it's great to have Dorking in the league, and it's great to have more Surrey teams in the mix, and all the times I've been there, it's been good football, friendly club.
Absolutely. And the reverse fixture actually before Christmas. I think it's Woking's last away game before Christmas. Here's Corboa, seeking a bit of a support. Dan Moss is there. Corboa gets it back. Sliding challenge from Bobby Joe Taylor. Was a good one, it was a strong one. And it will be a Woking corner, just their second of the half.
Yeah, Corboa walking a little bit gingerly back, but he's done well, and that was a good tackle from Taylor.
Casey with the resulting corner kick. Kellerman and Moss have stayed back for the Cards. Casey very central indeed. It was Ottaway's header that got it clear for Dorking, so it will be a Woking throw.
Now, what we saw on Saturday was that Zach Bradshaw actually does have a long throw on him. Whether he uses it or not, looks like Casey is going over.
Just trying to re-establish their shape here, Woking. Casey's return from taking that corner kick to go over to his more natural left side. Bradshaw's gone infield now. Robinson's in support, and here he is. Back to Josh Casey. Infield now to Corboa. Casey telling Corboa that he's offside. Leave me alone. Corboa still drives forward. Cross towards the back post where Ammond is waiting. Ammond and Akinola. Akinola nodding wide.
Another great chance there for Woking, and Akinola, he was just a little bit off balance and couldn't quite get his head around it to get it on target, but lovely work again by Corboa, a little bit reminiscent of Saturday where he jinked, found a bit of space, and a lovely little chipped cross in.
One back by Akinola. Robinson, lovely touch, halfway through the Dorking half, who have a man down at the moment, but Woking continue with Kellerman on the edge of the box, just a little bit too strong for Robinson, who stabs a foot out, gets it back from Moss. Robinson now infield, Bowerman is tracking back as well. Bowerman, strange clearance, straight down the middle of the pitch and picked up by Casey. Taylor on to Wilkinson, finding Kellerman. Wilkinson brings it into the Dorking half. Direct ball to Ammond. Now falls to Moore. Gallagher gets it away. Out to McManus. Taylor hasn't seen too much of the ball so far. Josh Taylor began his career with Sutton. Played most of his football in the south. McManus. Bradshaw got the last touch. But a pretty even game the last few minutes after those two top chances for Padraig Ammon to break the deadlock.
Yeah, Yeah, Porica's. He could well have had two goals in those first 5 minutes or so.
Ottaway. 180-degree turn. Bradshaw, Casey couldn't prevent the throw. Just hacked it over the Dorking fans here as we're halfway through the first half. And to much surprise, this game is still goalless. We'll check some of the scores from around the grounds in just a moment or two. McManus's throw. Gallagher onto this. Wasn't caught by Robinson, says the referee. Gallagher just appealing to the linesman, who was no more than 5 yards away from it. Not too many goals in the National League so far. Only 3 games with goals in. That includes Barnet 0, Ebbsfleet 1, Bromley 1, Southend United 0, and probably the game of the day up at the Technique Stadium, Chesterfield 1, Hartlepool United 2.
Well, 2 big clubs there facing off early in the season.
Absolutely. Wilkinson driving forward here on one of these long solo runs, which came to an end courtesy of the Gallagher challenge. Taylor back to Mail. And on to Craig. On loan here last year, Tony Craig from Crawley, but signed permanently in the summer. They have a 38-year-old in the Dorking back line.
Oh, no.
I think you can probably gauge Ian Nicholson's reaction to that free kick, which went Dorking's way. And here's Bobby Joe Taylor. The free kick was taken quickly. Bobby Joe Taylor beyond Ammond. Infield from Bauman. Taylor continues now. Was just muscled off the ball unfairly, according to the referee, by Wilkinson. You mentioned earlier, Ian, that Bobby Joe Taylor can cause upset in an attacking sense for Dorking, as it's the Woking fans that will now be upset with the first yellow card given to Luke Wilkinson.
Yeah, if that's what it's going to be, or is it going to be just a talking to? We haven't actually seen a card. Oh, he's got the card
in his right hand.
Oh, welcome back, Luke Wilkinson. Just back now, but he's got. Yeah, I thought that was.
What do you think?
I thought it was a little bit harsh, really. I thought he came over, used his shoulder. I mean, you always have to bear in mind, I could be totally biased in these opinions, but as a speaking for with Woking, but no, I thought that did look harsh. And Josh Casey, I think, is making that point to the referee.
Luke Moore will take the...
What did you think, Mark?
There's not a lot in it, really, was there? I didn't think it warranted a yellow card. I definitely thought it was a free kick.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the referees are clamping down on this kind of thing, I guess. All yellow cards being dished out. Luke Moore will take. It's a one-man Woking wall, built courtesy of Padraig Ammond.
Woking need to be alert here. This is where Dorking are dangerous.
They're not the tallest team, Dorking, but they've got plenty of players forward. Rising at the back post. Oh, goodness me. It was Tony Craig over the back of Wilkinson, who of course had to be careful, having been given a yellow card just a few moments ago, but they had as many as 8 players in the box there, Dorking.
Yeah, and Craig is obviously very, very experienced coming forward there, and Wilkinson, who's almost as experienced, just using his body to bending, and Craig couldn't get near there, and the ball went out harmlessly for Will Jaskalainen to have a free kick.
Jaskalainen with a good clearance. Ammond's come a long way to challenge this and wins the header. Lovely turn from Corboa, has options to his left. Corboa goes for goal, but slices his effort wide of the post.
Lovely flick on from Ammond there. I mean, he's not the tallest, compared with a lot of central defenders.
Wins so many balls in the air, doesn't he?
Yeah, he just timed his run to perfection and just glanced it forward to Corboa.
Akinola, lovely header to find Kellerman, who's got a bit of space. Back to goal, however, 30 yards out. Was he just caught? Notices the referee, and Dorking can bring this away with their club captain, Barry Fuller. Gallagher strokes it back to Mail, and Dorking happy to play it out of the back, showing plenty of confidence. Taylor didn't get the connection he really wanted on the header. It's out for a throw anyway. "20 minutes to half-time. Still goalless here, as it is in a number of games up and down the country, which I guess wouldn't be to anyone's surprise, given that they were all in action 48 hours ago.
Yeah. And here it looks like we do have a long throw.
Direct as well, up rises Akinola. Corboa opted to take a touch, and Casey will drive it clear. But Manners puts the ball into a different part of Surrey. New ball required.
Yeah. Well defended by Woking, who, by and large are pretty good from set pieces and throws. They're organised. They've got good shape. I mean, this could be one of those commentators' moments, but it's not often that they concede from set pieces.
You know what you've done, haven't you?
I know, but it's because I believe it.
Casey couldn't keep the ball the right side of the line. Gifts Dorking a throw. Around about 10-12 yards into the Woking half. Stabbed clear by Bradshaw, or Taylor rather. Gallagher onto Bobby Joe Taylor. Seb Bauman now finding a bit of space. Not seen too much of Bauman so far. But Manus. Gallagher. Moss just about timed the header and won it back from Moore. Ammon will bring it down now, and first time ball is spectacular, but tidied up by a Dorking defender. Hammond is there again. Kellerman to Akinola. Brought down again by Bobby Joe Taylor. Certainly the action coming down this near touchline to where we're sitting.
Yeah, Moss is playing very well. He intercepted well. He's tracking his man, particularly Bauman. When Bauman got the ball, he was on him like a rash and tracking him down, forcing him inside.
Taylor, lovely turn. But Manus. Stolen off him by Taylor. Akinola. Give them straight back to Taylor. Now with Fuller. Fuller finding Taylor. We got it back from Craig. Chasing from Corboa. It's not the best pass back to the Dorking Wanderers goalkeeper. He did well to control it. Not a bad distribution either, but met by the head of Dan Moss. Ammond is miles offside as Akinola went flying in on Moore, but I didn't think there was too much contact in it. Moore has stayed down. The ball is into touch now. The linesman's given a throw to Woking, whereas the referee's given it to Dorking. Moore is straight up to his feet.
Yeah.
I didn't see a lot wrong with that, Ian, did you?
Akinola was nowhere near him. He caught the ball. He got the ball, and Moore just went down to sort of try and make a point, but it really was. Yeah. So it was. Nothing much in that at all.
Long delay with the throw, which eventually is taken. Moss's header. Kellerman keeping it in play. Gallagher over the head of Ottaway. Wilkinson wants to see this out, but realises that McShane is chasing. Not said too much of McShane so far. It's been rather quiet. Corboa to Kellerman. Now with Akinola. Plenty of space to gallop forward into. Akinola, challenged by Gallagher, was strong and efficient.
Great Dorking interception that, because Akinola just took a little bit too long and the tackle came in.
Robinson going on his own, wants a few fouls and eventually gets one. Matt Robinson and Mark White just exchanging a few words. It's all starting to get a little bit too much for some, Ian.
Yeah.
So free kick to Woking. Taken by Will Jääskeläinen, every outfield player inside the Dorking half. Just over 10 minutes to go until half time. Still goalless. Goalkeeper's come out. Goalkeeper claims 2 really good hands from Harrison Mayle, who's impressed so far. 2 top saves and has commanded that back line for Dorking pretty well. Immediately releases Taylor. Back to Gallagher. Plenty of room for Bobby Joe Taylor. Moss with a bit of time. Back to Jääskeläinen. Wilkinson short. Darren Sarll just asking for calm from his 11 players. Direct from Robinson. Lovely touch to locate Corboa. Bradshaw is charging forward. Here's Robinson. Working continue despite the claims of handball. Bradshaw now. Casey bursting forward as well. Bradshaw with the dead ball, deflects into the box, headed by Taylor. Corboa, keeper's off his line. Corboa puts it into the empty net. And Ricky Corboa, his excellent performance on Saturday, rewarded with a start here today, gets himself on the score sheet in his first goal of the season. And Ricky Corboa deservedly puts Woking into the lead after 34 minutes. Woking 1, Dorking Wanderers 0.
Yeah, great work by Bradshaw out on the left. Actually, it was great work in the build-up, starting with Robinson. The ball's coming in, out to Bradshaw on the left. He put in a lovely ball, which Mayle and the defender couldn't quite handle. Came back, came to Corboa, he chested it and then just chipped it home, really, from probably about 8 yards, I would imagine. But a deserved lead, I think, for Woking, for all the pressure and the misses. They've missed a few gilt-edged chances, but a deserved lead nonetheless.
Absolutely. 34 minutes on the clock. Ricky Corboa has fired. Woking in front, and Darren Sarll punching the air in the direction of Ricky Corboa, who's deserved that. He's not started many games for Woking, but he impressed on Saturday, and he's impressing here today. Goalkeeper was off his line. And Woking's number 7 capitalised to give the home team the lead here. Goal kick.
It's amazing to me, Porrick Hammond chasing down there when he didn't need to. He's played on Saturday. He's 30-something years old, but he's chasing down everything and fits into that pressing game mentality that Darren Sarll wants. And even though there's very little chance of getting that ball through.
Padraig Hammond, who turns 36 in January, is still covering every blade of grass for his team. Jääskeläinen again short to Wilkinson. It was that excellent build-up which led to the goal.
Yeah.
Lovely interchanging football down the centre of the pitch. It was almost the Woking spine all collectively providing for the first goal.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to remember it, but I think it was Wilkinson laid it on the ground to Robinson, who did a quick ball off to
Corboa, I think it was. Yeah.
Then ended up with Bradshaw, and then that little chink cross, and Corboa was on the end of it when it came bouncing back. So good passing football on the grass, apart from the little chip from Bradshaw at the end, which was his best option. And but as we say, a deserved lead for Woking currently.
Oh, it's nearly a perfect ball from Wilkinson to Hammond. I guess near perfect isn't perfect, is it? Moss with the throw. Under 10 minutes to go until half time, and the place is bouncing once again as Woking are in front. Corboa. Oh, bad cross, there's just no one in the right place. Gallagher. Challenged by Robinson. It's always going to be a free kick.
Matt Robinson's, he's growing into this Woking team, I would say. I think he's Yeah, he's had a few quiet games. His second half on Saturday was very good, and he's been good this first half.
With a hopeless ball from Fuller. Goes straight through to Jääskeläinen. He's been more busier with his feet than he has with his hands. Wilkinson getting down the centre of the pitch to Kellerman. Akinola. Gallagher slides in but gives it straight back to Jim Kellerman, and now with Robinson with time to turn. Casey supporting. Infield to Kellerman. Clipped the wrong part of his boot.
Yeah, misstep there from Jim Kellerman, which is probably the first misstep of the half, I would suggest.
Still certainly a tightly congested league. A win today for Woking could see them rise to third, the position they hunted for so long last season. Of course, early stages of the campaign in terms of table spotting. But a win for Dorking today could see them leapfrog Woking, but they'll have to do it the hard way. Woking actually looking for back-to-back wins for the first time this season. The last time they recorded back-to-back home wins was in November of last year. Good chance to do it today. They lead by a goal to nil. Robinson. Casey. Keep up a very good record as well of scoring in several home games. Only twice in 2023 have they failed to score here. It's Ricky Corboa who opens his account for the season. Now finding Robinson. Wasn't the most powerful of efforts. Picked up by Bradshaw. Robinson again 30 yards out. Left-footed strike. Fires off the midriff or the shoulder of Craig. Corboa again. Corboa onto Robinson. Robinson low drive. Deflects off a Dorking leg.
Good pressure there from Woking. You only have to look at the Chesterfield game earlier this season with Dorking to know that any hint of taking Dorking for granted is futile. They can score from anywhere and always score goals.
Casey on corner kick duties once again. Be an outswinger from the club captain, driving the ball towards the back post, but again, good goalkeeping from Harrison Mayle. Releases Bobby Joe Taylor. Bowerman missing his playing partner, I guess, in Pryor. He usually occupies the other flank. Ottaway gets a bit of luck on the turn from Taylor. Ottaway now to Luke Moore. Brings Bobby Joe Taylor back into the game. Left-footed cross is met by the extended leg of Tunji Akinola as several fans head to half-time refreshments. We've still got 5 minutes to play.
Yeah, good possession there from Dorking and well handled by Akinola, but they were building well, and Barry Joe Taylor was just about to let loose his cross and it was blocked by Akinola.
Gallagher brought Corboa down there, and to me that has to be a yellow card. We were right in front of that, Ian. And the Woking players are asking the question, how on earth can that not be a yellow card? You've stopped a clear attack.
No, I can't believe that. I can't believe.
Right in front of us.
I can't believe that. It was, yeah. Corboa turned and he was away and was brought down by Gallagher, was it?
Yes.
Yeah, by Gallagher, and that to me is a clear yellow card offence.
Corboa, albeit that he's in his own half, is left through one-on-one.
Yeah. It's the consistency, isn't it, that I think
that's exactly it.
Disappoints players and fans.
Yeah, absolutely. Jääskeläinen with the clearance. Casey. Met by Taylor. Casey, good defending. Dedan Lewis going to warm up. Was an excellent used substitute the last time I was here. The home win against Rochdale. Nana Boateng also shown flashes of quality so far this term. It's called Boa. He's doing the talking on the pitch at the minute for Woking. Robinson on to Kellerman, lovely play again. Kellerman assessing what he has in the box, went square to Hammond.
Again, Ricky Corbett, really so much of that was down to him winning the ball down by the touchline, twisting and turning, laying it inside, and eventually Robinson and then Kellerman having space. And I think Kellerman looking to get the ball across, but well intercepted by the Dorking defence.
Casey stay back this time. Both fullbacks are back to mark James McShane, who again's had a very quiet half.
He has, but I suspect players like James McShane are those that you never notice and then suddenly they pop up with a goal. They're goal scorers, and you only have to see his record for last year to see that's what he did. But like any goal scorer, you need the right sort of supply and the right sort of opportunity, and I'm sure given that, we'll see him in the game.
Dorking lose it again in the middle of the park. Kellerman being wrestled to the floor by McManus. Ball went out of play, but again Woking appealing for the free kick, which they're not going to get. One or two frustrations with a couple of decisions not going their way. Fuller's throw. Ottaway sandwich between two red and white shirts. Up in the air from Fuller. Moss and Bauman clashing. Both went for the ball and fairly. Bobby Joe Taylor running into Robinson, who was caught. But again, another decision doesn't go their way. Eventually, the free kick is given.
Yeah, the benefit of the doubt is the referee was playing advantage.
Oh, there was no advantage for some time. It just looked like there was some serious delay to his decision making. One of those, I think the fourth official probably had a better view of than the referee. So Woking with a chance from the dead ball, probably 15 yards into the Dorking half. Kellerman hoisting it towards the back post. It's an excellent ball in, but no red and white shirts anticipating it, although Patrick Hammond howling abuse in the direction of Jim Kellerman.
Yeah, I think he just looked away and thought, I thought it was okay.
I thought it was a brilliant ball in. There's no Woking player wanted to get on the end of it.
So do the referees, does the fourth official also talk to the referee, or is it just the
As far as I know, yes.
To say that was a foul, or
yeah, I don't think they get involved too much. I think they're more in sort of patrolling the touchline, if you like. So and so said this, or so and so said that. But yeah, if there's a decision right underneath the fourth official's nose, I think he's certainly obliged to support the referee. I mean, they're a team out there as well. So listen to Mike Dean on the box last week saying that referees are out there as a team, regardless if they're your mate or not. The four of you or the six of you with the VAR, of course, that we don't get in the National League. Are there as a team. Woking corner anyway.
Yeah, corner one there by, again, Padraig Hammond, and is chasing down. 2 minutes additional time.
Yep, Patrick Nixon puts up the board for 2 additional minutes. And Woking will be happy to see this half out because they've looked strong. They've looked good in front of goal. And if it wasn't for Harrison Mail, they could be 3 or 4 to the good here. And they've got a chance to find a second. Josh Casey with yet another corner. Time an in-swinger from the near touchline towards the back post, headed away by Gallagher. Towards to Robinson. Wilkinson down the line to Corboa to chase. And I think it was Robinson who just pulled back an orange shirt.
And he's gesturing that he was being pulled as well.
I wonder which manager will be more upset with the decisions.
Well, knowing managers, they'll both be upset with the decisions,
waiting.
But I think Matt Robinson there getting a good long talking to. Hopefully it's not going to be a yellow. It is? No, it's not going to be a yellow card.
No, I didn't see any yellow. Very unconventional character, Matt Robinson. It's his technique that just amazes me. It's very, very irrational at times, but works. He had a great chance earlier on. Left-footed strike from range, which was eventually blocked. Patrick Hammond's had 2 good chances, and here he is. nabbed off him by Craig. Final minute of the first half being played.
Hammond and Corboa have been excellent up
They really have, haven't
half,
they?
You know.
Wouldn't know that they played football 2 days ago. You know, Hammond, maybe because of his age, that's maybe doing a slight injustice, but Ricky Corboa hasn't played much football, has he?
I mean, if you didn't know Hammond's age, maybe he's lost a bit of pace over the years. I've certainly seen a lot of him, but can't really remember. But if you didn't know his age, you wouldn't know it from this first half. And there's half time. Good, very good performance.
Yeah, it's been an intense first half. Lots of action at both ends. First chance to Dorking, ball into Harry Ottaway, but apart from that, Will Escalanen's looked pretty untroubled in the Woking goal. But for Woking, they've had a really good first half here. Padraig Hammond with two top chances, which were met by the gloves of Harrison Mayle. Costly defending at times from Dorking Wanderers, guilty of their own errors really. But eventually the home team broke the deadlock. Ricky Corboa with his first goal of the season, rewarded with a start here this afternoon. And as you were just alluding to, Ian, just a few moments ago, it's Padraig Hammond and Ricky Corboa who have partnered very, very well together in the Woking attack, and they lead at the break by a 1-0. What's your first half analysis?
Yeah, fully deserved lead from Woking there. They could have easily have had more. Ottaway was the one chance for Dorking. Woking have been very committed. They know that if you allow Dorking to get the ball down and play it around, you could be in for trouble. So they're just not letting Dorking settle. Woking fans would have seen in the last few weeks that games can turn very quickly at half time. And Woking have come out and been almost like a different team in the second half in a couple of games this year. So they certainly won't be relaxed at this or rest on their laurels. But a positive half from Woking. Dorking with some work to do.
Ian, thanks for your thoughts for the first 45. We'll return with live commentary on the web and app in around about 15 minutes time. But for our online viewers, we bid you a very happy half time. And we'll see you in a quarter of an hour. At the break here, Woking 1, Dorking Wanderers 0. We certainly have, Cameron. It is half-time here. It's Woking 1, Dorking Wanderers 0. The goal for Woking coming after 34 minutes, and none more than what they deserve, really. They've been excellent in attack so far this afternoon, but for Harrison Mayle and the Dorking Wanderers goal, this could be 2-3, maybe even 4-0. But it's only 1-0 at the moment at the break. Ricky Corboa with his first goal of the season, some fabulous build-up play to the opening goal. I think it went through the spine of the entire Woking team. Corboa, who actually created the chance, fed it on to Zach Bradshaw, who found himself in a rare position out wide. A deflected effort into the cross, saw the goalkeeper left scrambling and cleared away by Dorking Wanderers defender straight to Ricky Corboa, who lofted it into an empty net, leaving Luke Moore scrambling to keep the ball out of the goal, but couldn't get there. But it has been Woking that have impressed in this first 45 minutes. They've been the better team, but for one chance to Harry Ottaway up the other end of the pitch. I think Will Escalanen's been relatively untroubled in the Woking net. Padraig Hammond with two very good chances for Woking prior to Ricky Corboa's opening goal. But prior is the name of the game. They are missing their top goal scorer Dorking, and it's certainly there to show, because bar that one chance we keep alluding to, I think Woking will be pretty happy at the break, of which it is Woking 1, Dorking Wanderers 0. Woking just scored in the 57th minute. That's the first half.
That 1-1.
Yeah. Yeah. I know it's too early to look at table and stuff, but it's not serious.
To be 7th at the end of August would be pretty good.
100%.
With all the players going down, it's really tight.
Barnet away, Gateshead away, down.
Yeah.
I know there's no easy game. Yeah, they really are. All the main protagonists are away, they should be bar a couple. Normally, what's again, it's so early, but you can't help but think. Woking out for the second half, much more alertly than the visitors who are yet to emerge from the tunnel. Darren Sarle's team are ready for the second half, which will be live on BBC Surrey in just a few moments.
Two substitutions, I think, maybe. For Dorking.
So a double change at the break for Dorking Wanderers. Dan Pybus and Ryan Seeger have both come on, replacing Dan Gallagher and James McShane. Ryan Seeger, you would have thought, would be supporting Harry Ottaway, whilst Dan Pybus will be backing up the trio of midfielders. Yeah, hi Callum, welcome back to the Laithwaites Community Stadium. We are just about to start the second half. I was just making the point that Dorking have brought on a double change at the break. Dan Pybus is on, so too is Ryan Seeger. Dan Gallagher and James McShane are the two that are withdrawn, but Woking were out sharply for the start of the second half. And as I say, it's just about kicked off. So next time you're with us, I'm sure there'll be plenty to discuss. Woking 1, Dorking Wanderers 0. So 20 seconds into the second half, Woking have a player down. It's Jim Kellerman. Let's just run you through those teams just again. Woking continue with Jaskalainen in goal. Back four of Moss, Wilkinson, who is on a yellow card, Taylor and Casey, Akinola, Kellerman, and Bradshaw, the three in midfield, Kulboa, Ammond and Robinson, the three attackers. Dorking Wanderers, Harrison Mayle is in goal. A back three of Barry Fuller, Tony Craig and Bobby Joe Taylor. Wing backs of Seb Bowerman and Niall McManus. Josh Taylor in midfield with Luke Moore and the oncoming Dan Pybus. Ryan Seeger supporting Harry Ottaway.
Jim Kellerman just holding his leg there, having had some treatment, and he'll need to wait 30 seconds before he's come on with the new rules. I think 2 substitutions at half-time is always an admission that something needs to change, unless they're injury forced. But as you say, Seeger will give something else up top.
I can't imagine there was too much that Mark White was impressed with in the first half. Lovely touch from Seeger to get beyond Wilkinson and parried away by Akinola. Bar that chance to Ottaway, it really was all Woking. So he'll certainly want to change from his players that are now out on the pitch. Seeger already in the thick of the action. Taylor sliding in. Woking win the throw.
Good work there by Wilkinson and Taylor, particularly Taylor, who picked up the second ball and managed to end up with it going out for a Woking throw.
Ammond's flick on. Kulboa brings it down. Wrestling with Bobby Joe Taylor. Kulboa, was he pushed over? No, says the referee. Taylor's header, picked on by Akinola. Kellerman will chase. Any thoughts there, Ian?
Well, I'm struggling to think how that shoulder into the back was any different to Luke Wilkinson in the first half when he got booked.
Good tackle from Akinola. Yeah, I agree. Similar sort of area, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a... again, it's the consistency you're looking for.
Craig's taking a chance here. Mayle. Kellerman gave up the chase. Good clearance as well, and an even better header from Taylor. Yeah. Got down on his knees to meet the ball.
Great interception by Taylor there. That was... it would have been a dangerous through ball.
Jaskalainen, not a good clearance. Early stages of the second half then. And Dorking's issues at the back continue. Conceding 13 in 5 games, more than anybody else, 7 of which, or 8 now in 3, I guess, on the road. 7 in 2 prior to today. And they've given it back to Kulboa once again. Offloading to Kellerman. Crossing for Ammond. Wasn't much pace in the cross. Ammond still going, still trying.
Oh. Again, good work, Kulboa. Kellerman on the overlap. And a dangerous ball in, which bobbled around with Ammond, but couldn't quite come to anything meaningful.
Throw to be taken by Bobby Joe Taylor. Switching the play out to Fuller. 200 plus appearances for FC Wimbledon in the Football League. It's poor control from McManus, who's enduring his 6th season now with Dorking Wanderers. Barry Fuller now captain. He's been here since 2020. Casey's throw. Seeger in between Bradshaw and Taylor. Nodded on by Ammond. It would be interesting to see if the flag had gone up from the linesman. The flag has come up on this near touchline for a throw. Kulboa using that pace once again. It's a different kind of link up between these two. You usually see Kulboa off a flank, but centrally showing plenty of zest. Cut out by Bradshaw. Pybus met by Moss. Ammond is there for another flick on. Was he just caught by Tony Craig. He's just gone down momentarily. Dorking continue with Bowerman. Bobby Joe Taylor slips. Ammons to his feet. It's not the sight that Darren Sarll will want to see, with the likes of Grego Cox and Brown already sidelined with injury.
He's tough. He's got 5 or 6 days to recover for the next game.
Life of a footballer. Robinson lets it roll. Slow start to the second half. Not too much to chat about, Ian.
No, it's... I think Woking's strength in the first half, a huge amount of it came from the midfield, and that's been a weak area for Woking this season. And but they really dominated in the midfield and won the balls, and from there you can begin to build something.
Taylor with another superbly timed header. It's missed by Moore. Kellerman now lofting it forward to Corboa. Beautiful touch, Corboa. Ricky Corboa back onto his right foot. Can't get the strike away. Ammon can. It's blocked and it's cleared away by Craig. Wonderful touch to set up the opportunity, but he just couldn't get the strike on goal. Great tackle from Kellerman. Has Woking possession back. And here he is, fed through by Casey. Kellerman working it back onto that stronger right foot. Short pass to Casey. Bradshaw. Missed by a Dorking Wanderers defender. Corboa sliding in. Still not cleared. Ammond, did it come off a hand? No, says the referee. Cries and shouts from Darren Sarll and the fans behind the goal, but not given. And the Wanderers can bring it forward now with more. Bowerman can't get beyond Moss. Infield to Pybus. Certainly one you want to see back.
Yeah, I didn't get a clear view. I had a player or two in front of me, but looking at the reaction from all around, it was a clear shout for handball.
Moss, left-footed slice clearance. Up rises Kellerman. Bradshaw gets it under control to Robinson. Robinson just caught by Moore inside the centre circle. Free kick. The referee's just coming over to this near touchline. This is when the fourth official can certainly be in the referee's ear. Who are we going to see a yellow card for? I believe that's Ian Dyer. We haven't got the best view, Ian, but with Darren Sarll away to us. Don't know if you can hear anything, Ian. Well,
no, I've got my headphones off to hear. Can't.
So Ian Dyer goes into the book as a precaution. Did you manage to lip read, or?
I think Darren Sarll was making his point to the referee. The referee was making his argument back as to why that wasn't a handball. But certainly there have been a few decisions this game that really have been a bit bewildering. Let's put it that way.
Free kick to be taken from a different position to where it was originally placed. One or two boos ringing out in the KRE. Straight down the centre of the pitch from Yaskalan. It's a very threatening ball. Wilkerson chested on to Bradshaw. Parried away by the goalkeeper. It was straight at him, to be fair, but had to get two hands to it. Up rises Casey over Bowerman. Or was it Seeger? Because I think this is Bowerman here now. It is. Seeger went down. Bowerman from the quick free kick. Really good defending from Dan Moss.
Yeah, because that was a very quick kick. Could easily have caught the defence off hand, but Dan Moss was very alert.
Bradshaw did well. Won the free kick. I think the sooner that Woking can find this second goal, the calmer the Laithwaite Community Stadium will be. Because one or two decisions beginning to go against them, as was the case in the first half.
Yeah.
Was it a handball? Look, we're not 100% sure. It's certainly one we want to see back as the official attendance is being passed over. 3,206, 3,206 with 435 travelling Dorking Wanderers fans. I think that's a pretty good turnout for a bank holiday Monday. Not everybody can be here on a bank holiday. And a pretty good return Casey, lovely ball to Kellerman, had a bit more time than he realised. Ammon manages to keep it in play and was just caught there by McManus. Play goes on, Kellerman loses out. Clearance by Craig. Over the head of Baumann. Dan Moss wants to go back to his goalkeeper and just has about enough. As Jaskalainen, right-footed, clears the ball. Kept in play by Corboa. Brought down stylishly by Kellerman. Corboa's on the charge once again. Gets past one and past two. Just run into a bit of trouble here. It ricochets off his own set of legs for a goal kick. But the fans behind the goal praising the hard work that Ricky Corboa is demonstrating here today.
Yeah, he is. He did well to beat his man. Then his ball was a bit off, and in the end it ended up as a Dorking goal kick. But the way he beat his man, and he is on fire today.
Lovely touch by Bobby Joe Taylor. Brings it into the Woking half. Dorking playing from left to right as we look, right to left on the pictures. Baumann taking the quick throw, but leaves it to Bobby Joe Taylor. Bradshaw's effort just a few moments ago straight at the goalkeeper. Headed away by Fuller. Now with Moore. Pybus. Moore back to Bobby Joe Taylor. Baumann. Cut out by Moss, who's been superb in this second half so far. Corboa can't get beyond Craig. Moore sliding in on Akinola. Bradshaw's there to the loose ball. Was just run that a little bit too strong. There's one or two challenges starting to slide in as well. It was Taylor that time.
Yeah, and you're going to begin to get tired legs with a game, so quickly. So, and interesting to see which team it affects the most.
Ammond to Kellerman, shaping for the shot that's actually going to go out for a throw.
Yeah, he slipped as he pulled his leg back to kick. He slipped on the turf and ended up on his back. So unfortunately for Woking, 1-0 is always a nervy score, and it might look comfortable with Dorking not having had many attacks, but it can easily change.
Absolutely right. If anyone watched the Newcastle-Liverpool game yesterday, you would have seen even with 10 men, Liverpool turned it round.
I did, and I was in a Newcastle pub with my family.
Of course you were, yeah.
And it went very quiet.
I bet it did. 1-0 was a dangerous scoreline. Doesn't matter what the circumstances are. Just over half an hour to play. Fuller lets it run to Seeger. Back to the Dorking captain. Opening up his body. Seeger once again. Lovely turn. It's got support with McManus. And now with Moore. Moore spreading it onto Bowerman. One touch, then cross. Met by Taylor. On the edge of the area is Taylor. Josh Taylor, that is, missed by Akinola. And Moss can clear it straight to Bowerman. The danger is not over. Seb Bowerman. Cross towards the back post. He's right underneath McManus. Jaskalainen came out. Moore will pick up the loose ball. Pybus finds it back in. And Jaskalainen makes a good save.
Yeah, good pressure there from Dorking. Couple of good balls in. Jaskalainen did very, very well. He went up, defender and an attacker around him, but got his fist to the ball, cleared it, and left Pybus having taken a knock.
Scores in the National League was this break in play. AFC Fard 0, Altrincham 2. Altrincham still going great guns to the top of the table, or towards the top of the table at least. Barnet 1, Ebbsfleet 1. Bromley 1, Southend United 0 in that game towards the foot of the table. Of course, Southend with that points deduction. Game of the day has to be up at the Technique Stadium. On paper it was, certainly with the scoreline. Chesterfield 2, Hartlepool 2. Eastleigh are beating Aldershot by a goal to 0. Aldershot down to 10 men. And elsewhere, Wilson 0, Dagenham 1, York City 1, Rochdale 1. It's goals between Oldham and Solihull, although Oldham are down to 10 men. Everything else is goalless. 15 minutes into the second half.
3,200's a good attendance, isn't it, for an August game? Albeit is local, so good number of Dorking fans have made the short journey over, and it's nice. But it's nice to start getting above the 3,000 mark for games at this stage of the season.
Game is back underway. Darren Sowell yet to consider his bench. Not too much activity either. Denon Lewis, Nana Boateng and Sam Habagam all warming up. Hammond to Kulbauer. Kulbauer on the turn. Again, straight at the goalkeeper.
He's on fire, isn't he? I mean, it was a long shot, but he was on target. It was bouncing. It was dangerous. Keeper did well to hold on to it.
Throws it out to Fuller. Kulbauer is chasing. Kulbauer is there defending.
Yeah, and I know, from seeing a little bit behind the scenes last season, this season, that one of the things they want from Ricky Kulbauer is more. Any Woking player needs to be fully committed. For Darren Sarll, very physical, and
it's all about energy in Darren Sarll's team, isn't it?
Yeah, and there he was. He made the tackle.
Fuller's throw, direct as well. Bradshaw rises first, leaves it this time to Taylor. The last touch came off Taylor and not McManus. It will be a Dorking throw. Dorking have just looked a little bit more at it in the last 5 minutes.
Certainly, they've got a little bit more possession, a little bit more territory.
Trying to build some much-needed momentum. McManus to Fuller, body clashing with Casey. Rebounds off the midriff of the Woking captain at the expense of a Dorking corner.
Is that the first Dorking corner of the game? I can't recall any earlier.
You might be right. I haven't tallied the Dorking corners, sadly. I shall have a look. Taken quickly. That certainly was Dorking's first corner of the game. Woking with 5 to their name. Just the 1 goal between them. The longer that scoreline remains like that, there'll be 1 or 2 biting their nails to the finish.
And a long throw, which is very un-Dorking-like, really, but they're having a little joy in other ways, so seeing what they can do with a long throw.
They play
then
quickly.
It goes short.
Joe Taylor worked towards the back post. Jaskalainen came flying out over the back of Fuller, I think it was. Those falls can be rather heavy landings. Jaskalainen's going to be all right, though. He's a tough cookie. Goal kick.
Yeah, he landed on his back there quite. I'm sure it would have jarred him. He's just stretching his back there. Resetting himself, but yeah, he went for that well, and I got caught on someone lowering their back, and he ended up on his own back, falling from probably 4 or 5 feet, I suppose, onto his back.
Dorking with just 2 away wins in 2023. Back in April, they were back-to-back wins on the road with clean sheets. That was at Yeovil and Dagenham. And in fact, if the table was purely based on away records, Dorking would have gone down. That's how bad they've been on the road in the last 18 months. Can they get back into this game? One goalkeeper to another.
Wilkinson and Taylor have been very reassuring in the centre of defence. Wilkinson is such a good organiser. Taylor, Cambridge captain for 10 years, so he knows this. He knows this stuff as well.
Kulbauer goes to ground. Bobby Joe Taylor onto Bauerman. You'll note I'm saying his full name, Bobby Joe Taylor. There is another Taylor out there, Josh Taylor in midfield, so trying to distinguish between the two. And here's Barry Fuller. Whipped clearance, which Robinson does control with his hand. It's unfortunate there.
Yeah. You feel that Woking have lost a little bit of their zip in the last 5-10 minutes. Maybe it's tiredness setting in, but maybe the midfield not quite as energetic as they were in the first half.
Yeah,
but certainly Dorking having more possession.
I think given the schedule, I think it is probably time for changes.
Yes.
Don't you?
Yes.
Akinola loses out, but it goes over Ottaway. We've hardly mentioned in the second half. Seeger has certainly made a difference for the Wanderers. And here he is now, losing out to Wilkinson. It's beyond Kulbauer. It's just a bit of hidden hope at the minute for Woking. And they have got Robbie Wilmot on the bench, Denon Lewis, Nana Boateng, and the defensive cap on, Sam Habigan. I would have thought we'd see Denon Lewis and Nana Boateng at some stage, but I think Ricky Kulbauer is having that good a game. It's probably proving quite difficult for Darren Sarll to take him off. But they're in action again on Saturday. Trip to Maidenhead. Ian Nicholson will be there. BBC Radio Surrey will be there. Next home game here is against Solihull Moors, which is a big game. Solihull again Really promising start to this season after disappointing for most of last. And then another mammoth trip up north, which I'm sure Bernard will be behind the mic for up at Hartlepool.
Yeah, I'll be there as well.
And Ian Nicholson will be
Booked
back
our
up north
train
as well.
tickets. I'm not doing filed though. We have a family wedding on that day, so I'm avoiding filed.
I remember being there before, and it was probably the windiest day I've ever experienced. Pybus. Bobby Joe Taylor's long searching ball is cut out by Wilkinson. Dorking certainly the side on top. We have 25 minutes to play, plus any stoppage. The noise is coming from the Dorking fans as well. Woking just need to pick up the bit here a bit. Long throw comes in. Wilkinson and Akinola rise together. Taylor onto Bowerman. Whip towards the back post. Looking for Fuller. Last touch came off a Woking man. I think Greg Taylor.
Yeah, Taylor did well, but he could only give away a corner, but it was a searching ball in. Dorking haven't been particularly threatening, but they have certainly had possession, and they have had possession in and a number of balls into the box.
More towards the front post, met by the head of Josh Casey. Bobby Joe Taylor halfway through the Woking half. Clips it out to Bowerman. Decent touch. Akinola goes over to Chase. Shows him down the line. Left foot across is a really good one, but Jaskalainen read it well. Good play from Bowerman. Trying to bring him into the game a little bit more, Dorking, aren't they?
Yeah, they are, and I'm having I don't want to worry any Woking fans, but I'm having Newcastle-Liverpool vibes here.
Well, we'll need a red card first. Pybus just dallying on the ball, gives it back to Woking, and Akinola. Now with Padraig Hammond. Robinson screaming for the ball. He gets it now. Hammond to Moss. First time ball is beyond Corboa. Bradshaw is chasing. It's good defending from McManus, and good play indeed from Taylor. Josh Casey, the guilty man.
Yeah, you see, I would have said that. There's no question they're giving a yellow card, but I would have said that was a yellow card offence.
If the others are all yellow cards.
If the others are all yellow cards. I mean, Dorking were on the attack there, and it was dangerous, but this is only a little foul, but it stopped the momentum. But the referee didn't choose to give it.
Dorking goalkeeper coming out to take this. 20 minutes to go. Wilkinson with the header. Straight to Craig, who's got forward here. Tony Craig. Bowerman. Straight back to Craig. Bowerman first time ball. Met by Wilkinson again. Josh Taylor on the edge of the box. Robinson read the flight of the ball and hoisted forward by Hammond in the direction of Corboa, and didn't look as though Dan Pybus realised he had so much time. Fuller's header. But Manus putting Fuller into an unnatural position. But they have worked it well in the end. Josh Taylor, as soon as I say that, Woking applying the pressure and forcing the mistake.
They did work it well, but Woking applying the pressure, and in the end they couldn't get it clear and put it out for a throw. Probably halfway into the Dorking half on the left, which Josh Casey will take.
Casey's throw. Robinson. Casey just pitching wedges it forward. Met by Robinson. Corboa now into the box. Was he caught? I think the challenge was actually outside of the penalty area. Wasn't too many claims either from behind the goal, as Jaskalainen has taken authority. Thanks very much indeed, Cameron. Welcome back to the Laithwaites Community Stadium. It's still Woking 1, Dorking Wanderers 0, and 70 minutes of the clock as Josh Casey goes firing into a and now the challenge. It's a very, very close game in this second half, Cameron. Not too many chances to report upon. I guess the best falling to Zach Bradshaw, who scored on his debut on Saturday, but straight at the hands of Harrison Mayle. Dorking are threatening, as I say. In the last 10 minutes, they've probably been the better team, but Woking looking to gather some much-needed momentum here. I wouldn't be too surprised if we see one or two changes from Darren Sarll in the next few moments, because one or two players are starting to get a little bit tired after their efforts over the weekend. But for now, it remains Woking 1, Dorking Wanderers 0. Casey driving into the penalty area, all on his left foot, falls to Robinson, quick dummy, chips it forward, headed clear by Moore. Robinson lets it run off Casey, fires the ball into the box, met by Dorking Wanderers' head.
Yeah, good pressure there from Woking. Robbie Wilmot warming up, Denon Lewis warming up, Nana Boateng warming up.
Casey finding Robinson, gets it back. Corboa looking for the smart 1-2, but Manus realises there's not enough pace on the ball to get out for a goal kick. Last touch of the Woking captain. Just see Martin Tyler once again sat to my left.
Yeah.
Here again.
Been a couple of games. Much loved Woking fan and former Woking coach, of course.
Of course. Always happy to see him here. Casey and Robinson both having their shirts pulled, but not spotted by the referee. Rebounds off the face of Josh Casey. Headed forward by Ammond. Corboa is onside, but surrounded by orange shirts and just gets totally outnumbered in the end. Taylor forward. Ottaway loses out to Taylor once again. Ammond, beautiful touch. Lofted forward again to Corboa. Flag stays down until now. The effort was straight at the goalkeeper anyway. Great interchange in football once again between the two.
Yeah. There are a few players out there now that are looking very tired. I think Matt Robinson looks as though he's really, it's for 2 long games. Jim Kellerman's still out there.
Switching the play. Out to McManus. One in the air though by Casey. Fuller will keep it in play. Nice 1-2 between Taylor and McManus. Cross comes in. Beyond Bowerman to Moore. Moore infield to Seeger. Gets his effort on goal. Blocked by Bradshaw. Kellerman fouls.
Yeah, that was probably one of the most dangerous moments of the half from a Dorking perspective. Ball bobbling around, and here we have a substitution with Denon Lewis coming on for Ricky Corboa.
Well, he's got the goal that splits the two teams at the moment. And will that be the winning goal? We shall see. It's Nana Boateng has just also been recalled. Suspect his introduction isn't too far away, but for now it's just the straightforward change of Denon Lewis, who gives a quick kiss to Ricky Corboa after his excellent 74 minutes.
Yeah, he's been superb today and was superb in more than a half he played on Saturday. He's been man of the match, in my opinion, in both games.
Yeah, he's been excellent today and has a goal for his efforts. Nana Boateng will be coming on in the next break-in play. I think Darren Sarll just trying to use all the time he possibly can. So see now it's Eastleigh 3, Aldershot 0. Not a bad effort from Seeger. Made the chance all on his own making. But Eastleigh, after sacking their manager the weekend, might be getting underway from a fresh start.
Now, as I say, Kellerman and Robinson have put in a huge amount of work in the last 2 games, and both, I'm sure, are feeling it. Particularly, I think Robinson looks quite leggy, as they say, but
Denon Lewis chasing down. Yeah, you're right. I think Robinson looks absolutely shattered. Bradshaw hoops it up in the air. Kellerman is totally unmarked, but
And there's
First time
Lewis
touch.
again.
He's searching for Lewis. Bobby Joe Taylor twisting and turning. And the fourth opportunity will get the clearance away, right-footed down the centre of the pitch. Up rises Taylor, but beaten to it. Wilkinson's there to cover and just pokes it back to Jaskalainen. First time clearance. Isn't too bad. Finding Kellerman. Good header. Lewis had a bit more time than he probably expected. Jim Kellerman once again. Just slowing the play down for Woking. Offloading to Dan Moss. Back to Kellerman. Sets it under his spell to Robinson. Chip forward in Denon Lewis's direction. And it's in a pretty good area as far as Woking are concerned, because they have won the throw.
And Lewis did what he needed to do, really. It didn't overcommit. Pushed the man into the corner, won the throw for Woking.
Who's going to be replaced
it's certainly
here?
good at this stage of the game to have fresh legs like Nana Boateng, who's coming on in now, and also Denon Lewis, fresh legs. So who's gone off?
Kellerman. He's just gone over to the
Kellerman,
far side.
Yeah. And he'll enjoy his walk in front of the Kingfield Road end.
Another strong performance from Jim Kellerman. Goal on Saturday. He's been excellent today. Here's Denon Lewis still working some magic. Goal kick. So Boateng is on. Interesting if there's any shift in formation here. It looks as though Bradshaw and Akinola have remained where they are. Robinson's tucked into the midfield trio. It'll be Ammond, Lewis and Boateng that lead the line. Possible diamond, not too sure. We shall find out. Here is Padraig Ammond. That's a crucial block there by Fuller. Boateng was away and onside. Good play from Moss.
Great work by Moss there. He has a lot of energy. The two games haven't really worried him too much. I don't think he's chasing down there and winning the throw.
Here he is again with the throw. Dan Moss, of course, approaching 50 appearances in a Woking shirt. Flicked on by Boateng to Lewis, now with his second spell with the club. Back to Dan Moss. Boateng with a bit of space to work into. Hits the byline. Boateng low cross. Flicked on by Ammon. Saved by the goalkeeper. Another top chance.
Yeah, great chance there for Woking, second half. Could easily have caught the goalkeeper out.
Cuthbert on coaching duties in the technical area. Getting a rest today. Barking out instructions as Darren Searle takes a bit of a break. Bowerman. Low cross to McManus. Opening up to his right foot. Now with his left. Ricochets off Bradshaw. The cost of another Dorking corner.
Yes, certainly a lot more pressure from Dorking in the second half. Haven't really had many clear chances, but that was a quick corner catching them off guard.
Taken quickly as well. Up rises Moss. Flag's gone up. So a final opportunity to run through some scores. AFC Fylde 1, Altrincham 2, Barnet 2, Ebbsfleet 2, Bromley 2, Southend United 1. It's still 2-2 between Chesterfield and Hartlepool. As we mentioned a few moments ago, Eastleigh 3 up at home to Aldershot, who are down to 10 men. Goalless between Halifax and Gateshead, although Gateshead are down to 10 men. Also goalless between Kidderminster and Maidenhead. If that stays the same, Kidderminster have started the season with 3 0-0 draws at home. Oldham 0, Solihull Moors 1, Oxford City 1, Boreham Wood 0, Wilston 0, Dagenham Redbridge 1, York City 1, Rochdale 2. York have spent plenty of money but continue to struggle. Denon Lewis, flag stays down, looking for the cross. Robinson arriving just a little bit too late. Back into the penalty area. Casey's header, not to anyone in a red and white shirt. Wilkinson lofted up in the air. Moore, first time clearance. Bradshaw left it to Wilkinson, and now with Robinson. Robinson locating Casey to Boateng. The Millwall loanee. Casey looked to give it back. Good defensive play from Bradshaw. Tidied up by Robinson. And Taylor back to Jaskalainen. Can't take any chances here and doesn't. Ammons flick on. Boateng and Craig scuffling. Blocked by Amund, who's still working tirelessly and effortlessly.
Yeah, it's interesting. Padraig Amund hasn't been substituted. You'd think he's still got lots of running in him.
Another 10 minutes plus. We're working to see this out. It's been a low-scoring game, which we weren't really expecting, but there has been so many chances, mostly on the Dorking goal. But Jääskeläinen has been called into action on a couple of occasions. Once in each half, one seems to recall. Taylor intervenes.
Taylor's been very calm and solid. Well, Taylor and Wilkinson have both been very calm and solid today for Woking.
Plenty of candidates still for man of the match, which we'll come to in a few moments. Throw to come in from Josh Taylor. Spiralling ball, which Akinola deals with. Casey lets it run for Amund. Clears it away, but straight to Bobby Joe Taylor. Amund, searchable for Lewis, and Lewis gets there, but I think his touch is just a little bit too strong.
Did really well to get there, just overhit it, and he just had to get his toe to it, and it just went too close to the keeper.
Boateng chasing. Screams from Darren Sarl to get up the pitch from his team. Just need to establish those two lines of four for a quarter of an hour, and they can see this one out. Bradshaw's clearance. The sun is just bursting through the clouds. Bobby Joe Taylor to Bowerman. Seeger, decent touch, flag stays down. In the working box, low ball which Bradshaw cuts out. Akinola gives it back to Seeger, goes flying in again. Taylor onto Fuller, chipping it towards the back post. Akinola there again. And Pybus rather nicks it off Amund. It's all Dorking at the minute. McManus. Fuller. Finding Josh Taylor. Fuller gets it back. Low ball this time, dealt with by Taylor. And Nana Boateng can bring it away for the home team. It's 2-on-2 if they can play this right. Orange shirts now trying to get back. Dedan Lewis only has Nana Boateng forward. Amund is getting there as well. Lewis deflects in the direction of Boateng. Woking have it back with Robinson. They're merely walking forward, Woking. They're absolutely legless in places. There's a massive divide between attack and defence at the minute as Moss fouls Bowerman.
Yeah.
Free kick Dorking.
Yeah, it's almost like the midfield's disappeared. It's you've got Lewis and Boateng up front, and the midfield really struggling there. But defending well, Akinola just recently. I mean, 2 superb interceptions in exactly the right place, and he's, in comparison to the other central defenders, not saying better or worse, but he's younger. He's probably a bit more athletic than the others, but he really made his presence felt there, and he covers a lot of ground, and he doesn't look to have been affected by these 2 games in such short time.
Third and final change for Dorking. Alex Lancashire has come on for his debut, replacing Niall McManus. Alex Lancashire, who has joined from Blackpool, turns 21 next week. And can he gain his team a much needed point? As you'd expect, they'd sink further down the National League table without any return here. Robinson, lovely inverted ball to Lewis, sets Bradshaw away. Bradshaw going all by himself, trying to bulldoze his way through the Dorking back line, and eventually cleared by Mail. Bauman back to his goalkeeper. Up rises Taylor for another winning header. Wilkinson's turn. Akinola. Dan Moss gliding it forward. Boateng will give half-hearted chase. They're holding on here, Ian, aren't they?
There is a bit of holding on, yeah. It's as we keep saying, some very tight bodies.
They've lost out here. Lewis is through. Dedan Lewis! strokes it home, and Woking will record 3 points for the second time in 2 days. Cameron, I believe you're with us. You've come at the perfect time. Woking have wrapped this game up. They lead by 2-0. Dorking losing out in defence once again. The defenders are asking the questions of why was the foul not given. Woking don't care. Denon Lewis through on goal, puts it past Harrison Mayle for his first goal of the season. Woking recording back-to-back wins at home for the first time in 9 months. 3 points surely going in their direction this evening. After the long trip to Gateshead on Saturday, they are rewarded with what will surely be a win here this afternoon. It's Woking 2, Dorking Wanderers 0.
Yeah, excellently taken, coolly taken by Denon Lewis, and defensive mistake, and the ball was pushed through. Lewis was through on the keeper from nowhere really, and just coolly slotted it into his right hand corner. The goalkeeper's left, the Dorking left, and fully deserved. But as listeners have probably picked up, the feeling that Woking were tiring a little bit and not being quite as dominant as they had been. But I suppose as you have to, as Dorking were, pushing forward, it leaves gaps at the back, and that should be enough. That should be enough now for Woking.
Yeah, you get the sense that that's probably the game done and dusted, because you're right, Ian. I think the longer that went on, and we're waiting to see whether the board would have come up with 5, 6, 7, maybe more additional minutes. Would have been uncomfortable viewing if you're listening in as a Woking fan. If you're a Dorking fan, well, it's more of the same, sadly. Missing Pryor today was a big loss, as Woking will make their final change. Robbie Wilmot's coming on for Padraig Hammond. Now the game is pretty much done with.
Yeah, Padraig Hammond has been brilliant this game. Apart from missing, he'll probably kick himself for missing a couple of gilt-edged chances very early on, which would have relaxed Woking fans a lot earlier, I would imagine. But his running, his intelligence has been superb this game and on Saturday.
Yeah, certainly has. Woking are going to extend this wonderful run that they have on Bank Holiday Monday in August. It's 10 years in a row they've won on this weekend, because most of the trips tend to be down in Torquay in the English Riviera. They're at home here today and are going to run out comfortable winners, it would seem. In the end, it only looks like a 2-0, but they really have hammered the Dorking Wanderers goal at times today, and Dorking have just lacked that cutting threat.
Yeah, they have, and Dorking have had a lot more possession and pressure in the last 15-20 minutes, but really been unable to make it count. I can only think really of Ottaway's chance in the first half that really opened Woking up.
Akinola could be in a spot of bother here. Looks as though he's going to be rewarded with a yellow card. Say rewarded, should be awarded, shouldn't it?
I have to say, he's been superb.
He has done really well, actually, hasn't he?
And Saturday as well. You don't really notice him so much.
No, you're right.
He just breaks so much up, and he's a very good footballer.
He had a troublesome game here against Altrincham, didn't he? And he's firmly put that behind him, as the goalkeeper's gone from left to right. Bobby Joe Taylor keeping it in play on the other flank. Wilkinson's let him run completely past. Ottaway bounces off the thighs of Casey. Sliding in is Ottaway, finding Pybus. But it does make for a difficult man of the match decision, Ian.
It does. I think I'm still leaning towards Corboa, but I think there are a lot of candidates. I think defenders have done very well. Woking defenders, I have to say.
It's hard to pick out individuals in a game like this, because no one's really had a bad game, have they?
No, they haven't. They've all done their bit. Kellerman was immense, particularly in the first half. Akinola's quietly gone about his business. Moss has been excellent.
Excellent second half, hasn't he?
It really is hard to pick out a player.
Yeah, I think Dan Moss has been terrific at right back. Again, at his more natural position, he'll be pleased to be playing in.
Yeah.
But second half, he's really controlled Seb Bauman, who is a total threat in this Dorking team. Yes, they are missing Pryor. but lots of the attacks in the first half especially were coming down Dorking's left, Wokin's right.
Zach Bradshaw's had 2 excellent first 2 games.
He really has. Denon Lewis prevents the goal kick, comes off the corner flag, and Boateng eventually comes in. 7 additional minutes, which certainly wouldn't have been welcomed should Woking not be 2 up by now. But I can hardly recall a debutant having such a strong first 2 games other than Zach Bradshaw. I mean, it's
particularly as he's
fantastic.
Supposed to be a central defender, and he's actually been playing in central midfield and scored a goal, and could well have scored a goal today. You know,
Ian just clarifying that Jim Kellerman was the man of the match, but I think you're going to side with Corboa, aren't you?
I'm still going with Corboa because I think but I think Jim Kellerman, as we've said throughout the commentary, has been excellent throughout this game.
Yeah.
And been everywhere.
Goal kick. Dorking last chance saloon. Bradshaw up in the air. Denon Lewis rather came from an offside position. They want the throw. They won't get. Reminder of today's attendance: 3,206, 3,206 with just over 400 Dorking Wanderers fans. Another day for them. But finding life in the National League in the second season of theirs a little tougher than the first at the moment. But they might need to look into the market for a few reinforcements, particularly up front when your best player's not playing. There's Nana Boateng. Woking showing off their squad depth now. Boateng chasing Pybus. Back to Joe Taylor. Met by Bradshaw. Some tired legs in the Dorking Wanderers team now. Boateng just left the leg there on Bobby Joe Taylor. I can see why the referee's given it. Much to Ian's dismay.
Oh.
Robinson. Denon Lewis is onto this. He's all on his own. Denon Lewis up against 2 orange shirts. Denon Lewis near post side netting. Doesn't get the corner he wanted. I do actually believe him.
Yeah.
I thought they got a slight nick off an orange leg.
Yeah, yes.
Never mind. As it stands, Woking rising to 6th after a slow start to the campaign. They've hit double figures for points. They're now on the board with 10, just 4 off the top, and they have the table toppers here next after the Saturday trip to Maidenhead, who've also began rather smartly. 9 points for their first 6 as it stands. Dorking, well, down in 22nd, of course would be 23rd but for Southend United. York City bottom, bar Southend. Dorking, Fylde, Oldham, lots of teams you wouldn't expect down there are struggling, and Bromley getting a much needed win today.
Yeah.
If it stays the same.
Yeah, you feel Bromley are beginning to battle their way back into contention. Boreham Wood have had a very sketchy start.
Oldham, York I really thought would be challenging playoffs this year. Again, an awful long way to May, but we wanted a better start. Southend have it all to do. Free kick to Dorking Wanderers. We've got 2 of the additional 7 left to play. Woking's attention's now turned to the clean sheet.
Yeah, that'll be as important really against a high-scoring Dorking side who always get goals. Except maybe they won't today. Obviously, Jason Pryor, big miss.
Yeah, big miss. Big miss. Let's hope his injury isn't too disastrous.
I have to say, one of my favourite Dorking players, Matt Briggs, you know, who's out injured. I think he's done his hamstring, but he's such a good player, such an exciting player. I saw him come up through the ranks. He's always been better than the lower, you know, when Dorking were in lower leagues, but he just stood out as such a good player and battled with injury, and I understand has tweaked a hamstring, which you can always do if you've been out after a long injury. It can take a while for your whole body to adapt.
Clearance by Jeskalani. It's one of those impossible decisions, I guess, for the referee. It bounces off two heads at the same time. Dorking in action again on Saturday when they host Eastleigh, who are turning fortunes today. For Dorking travel to Oldham and Halifax. On paper, two very, very tough places to go. But Woking just seeing this game out now. Clean sheet not yet in the bag, but you expect the 3 points will be. This their second home win of the season. And of course, will be their first home clean sheet, should they hold on. Good play from Wilmot. Casey, lovely ball in the direction of Boateng, who has time and space to attack into. Boateng trying to work it back onto that right, just slipping over the ball, and Pybus did well enough. Brought down with his chest by Ottaway. Seeger chases. Taylor with another cushioned header to put the ball into touch. 60 seconds to play.
Get the feeling today, a lot of the new players for Woking begins to feel they're beginning to settle into their role.
Starting to get into full stride,
bit
really,
of
Woking,
shape, isn't there? Better shape.
Better shape, and just the understanding, I guess, of each other.
Yeah.
Which, yes, they're professional football players, but they're in a completely new team. As we said last time we were sat here, 13 players kept from last season. That's barely 11 itself. 9 new signings, 3 loanees, 2 familiar faces. There's a big, big squad for Darren Sarll to use now, and he'll need every single one of them in this long and testing campaign.
Yeah, it looks as though time nearly up now, and last few seconds, and Boateng settling there for the throw. Woking will be very pleased with their result from the last 3 days.
Thank you, Cameron. Yep, dying few moments, and you've joined us at the perfect time. Full time here at the Laithwaites Community Stadium. Woking 2, Dorking Wanderers 0. They had to live a little dangerously in the last quarter of an hour when Dorking were attacking, but they were guilty of more unforced errors in their own back line as they gave the ball away cheaply. And Denon Lewis was through on goal and couldn't miss, really. Stroked it past Harrison Mell, who had a pretty good game in goal for Dorking Wanderers. 3 top saves in the first half, a couple in the second half, kept the scoreline at just 2-0. But all the time it was 1-0, they were sniffing around the Woking box for an equaliser. That never came. Woking stretched their lead to 2-0, 4 minutes from time. And it's 3 points they'll collect here for the 10th year in a row on Bank Holiday Monday in August. Woking rise to 6th in the table, 10 points on the board from their 6 games, 4 off top. Of course, there'll be no attraction to the table just at this moment in the season, but the next team to come here is Solihull Moors, who currently do sit top. Plenty of big games to come for Darren Sarll and his team here, this new team here, operating at such a high standard after their exploits last term. They've collected 3 points at home, back to back, for just the for the first time rather, in 9 months. 2 home wins for Darren Sarll, 3 points here this afternoon. Woking win by 2-0. Ian Nicholson, your final reaction?
Yeah, fully deserved win for Woking. Dominant, could have been more.
Should have been more.
Should have been more, you should say, actually. And but as they tired a little, Dorking pressurised a little bit more in the second half, but it was really, a lot of it was well handled, well defended. Mark White, I think, has got a lot of thinking to do. I think it's probably, I suspect it could be the biggest challenge of his managerial time at Dorking in terms of really getting this Dorking team to move up to the next level. But obviously they were missing it with injuries themselves, particularly Jason Pryor. Woking themselves, they'll be glad of a few more days to get some of their injured players, particularly Manny Oyeleke and some of the midfield presence back.
Both the Reeses.
Yes, Reece Gregor-Cox and Reece Brown. Yeah, there's a lot to come. But the team did well, the Woking team, and very long journey. Gateshead away on on Friday and Saturday, and I know from personal experience it's a very long journey over a bank holiday, so they've done very, very well to get 6 points out of this last 2 days.
Ian, thanks very much for your thoughts here, not only today but of course the long trip on Saturday. A few days off for you, I hope, but for Woking a few days off which they'll look forward to. As Ian says, it's been a long 48 hours for them, 600 miles it's been the trip up to Gateshead, the 3-1 win there, and the 2-0 victory here today finishes off a special weekend for them. They're always rising up the table at the minute, up to 6th, 10 points on the board, and another home win. Things are looking good for now for Darren Sarll. We'll be back again soon. Woking in action on Saturday. Ian Nicholson will be there for BBC Radio Surrey, of course. Maidenhead away before they're up here next against Solihull Moors. We'll be back soon. I've been Mark Francis. He's been Ian Nicholson. Thanks very much indeed for listening.